Welcome to Agrabah, city of mystery, of enchantment, of the finest merchandise this side of the River Jordan. I can see that you are only interested in the exceptionally rare. I think, then, you would be most rewarded to consider this. Like so many things, it is not what is outside, but what is inside that counts. This lamp once changed the course of a young man's life. After all my years of searching, at last, the Cave of Wonders. Now remember, the rest of the treasure is yours, but the lamp is mine.
Who disturbs my slumber?
It is I, Kazim, a humble thief.
Know this, only one may enter here. One whose worth lies deep within. The diamond in the rough.
Oh no! So, only one may enter. I must find this one. This diamond in the rough.
Alright, this is definitely going to come out of left field, but fun fact, this was actually one of the first Capcom games that I ever played. Actually, the first Capcom game that I ever played. Before Resident Evil, before all of those games that came before, yeah, this was the first Capcom game that I played, and it's Disney's Aladdin. Pretty simple Super Nintendo platformer, but it is really fun just to go back to every now and then. And I had my old copy sitting on the shelf, so I decided, hey, why not? But here you can see we got the cloth for flying, so we can get around easier. For the most part, it's just a simple platformer. Other than that, there are certain enemy types, like the bow guys here. There's the street guards. Classic Disney stuff. Just, if you've seen the movie, then you've got a pretty good idea of, like, what we're really going for here. Aladdin, poor street rat, that, Jafar needs to get the, lamp from the Cave of Wonders, as our intro was. But as you progress, the game does get a little bit harder and harder. There's pretty infamous, at least as far as I'm aware, infamous section involving the Cave of Wonders later on that we'll get to whenever we get there. But it's not really that tough of a game. Like I said, it's just kind of fun to go back to. And this was around the era that Capcom was just absolutely fucking killing it with their games. And yeah, Aladdin is no exception. Capcom did a really good job with making this game. It's well, I don't want to say decent because I really like it, but it is a really fun platformer. We have a lot of good music, a lot of colorful characters. We have Abu, we have Aladdin. Eventually we'll meet more characters like Jasmine, the Sultan, all of that. I think about it, I don't think Raja is ever in this, but basic principle of the game, just get to the end arrow posts, and then you're good to go. But we do have healing items like bread and chicken that we pick up, and it'll heal our hearts up in the top left. So if we take a hit, we can kind of just get it back if we find those. And we do have red gems and stuff that we can collect along the way, as well as having apples that we can throw at people and stun them for a small amount of time. The game does give you a hell of a lot of apples, so I'll never really use them all, but they are an option, just in case you need to get up on somebody as they're trying to hit you. But the big one is definitely the cloth. The cloth makes platforming and stuff super simple, makes you have more airtime as you platform around, so we can just use that. As long as we have the cloth symbol up at the top right, we can use the cloth, so it makes things a lot easier. And we can always collect these red gems that we have here, so if I go back here I can just use the cloth to get across. And this game does have really, really nice and tight platforming. There's like no particular delays, no real BS-ery going on. Like, it's just really solid. Capcom really did an amazing job with this game back when. And like I said, this was one of the first Capcom games that I played, so it really set the bar high for me, for them. Though I never really expected it to take from Disney to survival horror after the fact. This game came out in '93, so it predated their whole grandfather of horror kind of stuff, because Resident Evil wasn't until a little bit later. But here we have the Market Chief. We can actually get him to swing his sword and then hit him while his sword is swinging, so to speak. And if you get up on the stall, he kind of goes a little crazy, which looks funny. But he's not too bad, just 3 hits. Or not 3 hits, just hit him while his sword is being swung, and yeah, he goes down. 3 hits, not quite right. 4 hits is what it takes to get rid of him, but he's technically the first boss of the game. If people haven't seen the movies anyways, he catches Jasmine stealing an apple from his stall, and it kind of upsets him. I mean, I would probably be upset too if somebody was handing my stuff out for free, but hey, kind of happens. But here we actually have the passcode system. We've cleared stage 1, so our passcode is Genie, Abu, Aladdin, and Sultan. And a funny story about that actually is that I remember the password to get past the Cave of Wonders after all of this time, so it is kind of funny. And we do have our little cutscenes here that aren't really narrated or anything, because, well, it was Super Nintendo era. Having voice in anything was kind of astounding. That didn't sound like a robot synthesizer trying to have fun with a blender or something. But the music is really good and varied in this. I'm kind of surprised they got as much as they did out of all of it. It's not a particularly long game, but it does have some bomb music. Like, it is amazingly varied. As well as sound. Like, everything in this game is just phenomenal. I'm kind of surprised at how much they squeezed out of a movie license game, in all honesty. Which I can't really say the same for all the movie license games that I've played since. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, movie license games are normally very shoddy at best, and I'm sure most people will probably agree. That's not like some amazing knowledge that only myself has. Like, people will probably agree that movie licensed games are kind of booty, to say the least. There we see the full heal of the chicken, and apples will not stun bats, they'll just flat out take them out, so we can always do that with the bats, as well as the crawling scorpions on the wall. If you try and just jump onto the wall with the scorpions on them, they will take you down. But there we got a scarab. If we collect them, then we get a wheel with the genie later. So it's nice to have just for extra credits or lives or possibly life ups. So that's why we do that. And you can also throw apples while you're jumping, in case you weren't aware. And Abu's telling us to jump down, so it's quite a drop. I'm kind of surprised that Aladdin would be okay with that. But here, the Cave of Wonders, we have all of the treasure, as well as the magic carpet that we meet here. And he strolls off like a boss bitch, so we're gonna follow him. And because we got the scarab, now we can get the spin on the wheel. So we have the stars, 1-up, 2-up, hearts, as well as the genie face. If I'm remembering correctly, well, 1-up and 2-up are obvious. The stars give you credits, which after you lose all your lives will basically give you a continue. So stars are continues, 1-up and 2-up are just 1-up and 2-up. The heart refills your hearts, and the genie face refills your hearts as well as gives you an extra heart container, if I'm remembering correctly. The genie face is, you know, one of the rarer ones, so harder to get. But here we have the log flumes, so we can just ride along on these. If you see any bats, then by all means just hit them with the apples, because it really, really helps. They can be quite annoying. Here we just have to time our descent with one of the logs. And also watch out for the bats. Now we pull on this rope and it'll open up this little pathway for us, and we can just ride on down. I don't really plan on getting all the red gems, just because some of them are a pain in the ass to get, specifically whenever you're doing the whole new world section later on. I don't have all of those like memorized or anything, so they can get really annoying. So I'm not too concerned with getting all the red gems there. My main concern is just trying not to die as much as possible, which is easier said than done, because in this game there's pitfalls that are just insta-kills. This was still in the era of platforms where that was a very real thing, so it can just happen. Like, it's not the end of the world, but it will sometimes happen. And these boulders you can actually just handstand off of, so if they get close to you, you can just go over them by jumping on them. It's super simple. But now we found ourselves the lamp, and we're actually going to be onto the worst section of the entire game. If anybody's actually played this game before, this part probably gave a shitload of trouble, because the entire time, one hit will just kill you. Like, straight up. And I played this game around the time I was like 3 or 4, so I probably put more time into this section than any other section. And yeah, the cave is going to start collapsing. But this isn't the real hard part. It does become an auto-scroller, so time is of the essence. So you are essentially outrunning the screen at this point. But the harder part will be after the fact. You don't actually instantly die if you hit the lava too, it'll just damage you. It's mainly bottomless pits that will insta-kill you. Lava and stuff will hit you once, and if you don't get out of the lava in time, it will kill you. So you have the invulnerability period, but after you lose the invulnerability, or if you're still in invulnerability when you hit the lava again, it will just drop you through and die. I assume it's kind of like a, you get one, everybody gets one, and if you lose it, well, you've lost it. But it's not too bad of a section. This section's decently easy. What I'm talking about is actually the carpet ride section. The carpet ride is super difficult if you aren't prepared for it. Like, a giant pain in the ass kind of section. And I'm more concerned with living over the scarab, so I'm not too concerned with actually getting that. But yeah, the carpet ride, giant pain in the ass for younger me. It's a little easier nowadays after, you know, playing so much, doing so many games that are probably 20 times harder. But even still, 3 or 4 year old me absolutely hated the carpet section. Like, I've memorized the code for the genie levels because of how much I hated the carpet section. So, Genie, Jafar, Aladdin, Abu is what I remember to skip this particular section. But you have to watch the wave behind you, you have to watch the rocks above you, and you also have to avoid the cave sections that you're essentially flying the carpet through. And as you can imagine, for a 3 or 4 year old, that's a hell of a big task to, like, dodge through these tiny little spaces and stuff. So yeah, then the wave starts really following us. It's just continuous, but we still have to outrun the wave, dodge through these tiny little sections, and also avoid the rocks on the ceiling falling down. But there, I've practiced a little bit, and there's the passcode that I've remembered for over 20 years. I've never forgotten this passcode because I always used it whenever I played this game. Because I hated the section so much with the damn lava and the rocks. And now I can do it first try, but back then, you know, 3 or 4, it's a pain in the ass. Like, it really is. It hurts to do a section like that whenever you're that young. But that's... I mean, I still like it. Like, this game is just nostalgia and everything else. This isn't the first game that I beat, but it is one of the first games that I beat. And it's just really fun to go back to. If anyone's actually curious, the first game that I ever beat was Super Punch-Out on Super Nintendo. So, that one may actually come later on. I'm not super good at Super Punch-Out. Like, I don't have all of the people memorized, but I have beaten it probably like 15 plus times. At least in recent memory. Later on, not so certain. I'm getting older, my memory is fading. That's a joke, I'm not that old, but... it's kind of hard to remember how many times you've beaten something that was almost 30 years ago, so, you know. But Super Punch-Out? Oh, I remember Rick Bruiser. He was a absolute bastard back in the day. The first big one that gave me a lot of trouble was actually Aaron Ryan, that cheating bastard, but he became kind of my bitch after a while, and I missed the ring, so I died. It happens, though. We just restart the stage, and you do keep the cloth when you die, and hindsight, right there, I should have probably just used the cloth to actually make sure that I catch the ring, but it happens. But yeah, on Super Punch-Out, I had massive difficulties whenever it came to Aaron Ryan whenever I first started. Because you're 3 or 4, you don't know, hey, he's going to cheat if I super punch him in the face or anything, or do a haymaker. So every time I do it and he grabbed me, it always pissed me off, you know. You're like, hey, how come he can grab me, instead of thinking, maybe I can, you know, kick his ass after the fact. And I just died on the same ring. I am making Genie's face right now. Okay, anyways. But yeah, Super Punch-Out, honestly, Aaron Ryan was the first obstacle, and then probably Super Macho Man. I never really had too much problems with, like, the Sandman, or Mr. Sandman. After that, Narcissus Prince was, like, a pushover. I don't think I've ever lost to Narcissus Prince. Hoi Corlo definitely has whooped my ass quite a few times. So much so that I remember bitching about his cane and how much of a cheap bastard he is. It always kind of surprises me in Super Punch-Out, like, the refs actually allow people to do this stuff, like, basically just flat out cheating against Little Mac. Like, that's kind of messed up. They just let him keep doing it over and over again, like Aaron Ryan grabbing Hoi Corlo, kicking your ass with a cane, like all this stuff. But that's the first Genie level down. I guess I should probably stop talking about Super Punch-Out while I'm playing Aladdin, huh? But this game, it does have a bit of movie kind of scenes in it, but this was never part of the movie. I mean, if anybody's seen Aladdin, yeah, you'd know. Genie just kind of does his song and dance and summons out a bunch of stuff, but he never has Aladdin doing flips and shit. But, you know, you kind of need to have a pseudo level type thing going on. And that was a very dangerous maneuver. I probably shouldn't have went for that, but at the same time, I also love that you have different options for the Genie parts, because you can jump on the balloon, or you can just flat out hold on to the handles. Like, you have a choice. So it opens up a level of, like, what you can do. It's just really cool that you can either jump on the balloon or hold the handle. So you have options, so to speak. But the Genie levels, I actually find a lot easier, even though I say that and I died twice, but the Genie levels I find a lot easier than the lava sections. I guess I can't really say easier now, but, you know. And since we got the Scarab, we can spin the wheel again. But I think I actually, if I remember right, which probably not, but I think I actually played this game before I ever watched the Aladdin movie whenever I was younger. Which would be kind of funny, honestly. I mean, I wonder what my 3-year-old brain kind of thought. Like, wow, they made a movie based on the game that I play or something, probably. And yes, we are platforming on Genie's tongue, which is really, really weird, but at the same time, whatever. Capcom were on something, and I am completely okay with it. Honestly, I've always just been a Capcom fan. Like, they're probably still one of my favorite companies overall. Like, as far as IPs go, they have so many memorable, fun ones, and they're always trying something. Like, they're going outside the box more than a lot of other companies will these days. And yes, I know, companies aren't really friends or family, but from their track record, I mean, I just really enjoy what they do. They attempt to actually, like, improvise, go outside the box, that sort of thing. And even back in the day, they were. They've been around forever, so they've always just been kind of doing their thing, and I'm glad that they still kind of do that stuff. Like, I hope to see Capcom still continue to rise. Like, I really do enjoy what they do. And even now they're trying to do like different IPs like Exoprimal and stuff that are coming out. So I hope to see them continue to do well and succeed in doing remakes and stuff. Because, man, they have just killed it in the past years. I know they've had their mess ups, and they still kind of forgot about Dino Crisis, but they still are just absolutely knocking it out of the park these days. Like, I'll be the first to admit, yeah, they've had their fuck-ups. Like, everyone does. But on the bright side, it seems like they're learning from them. So, hell, I've made mistakes before. I've made plenty of fuck-ups in my time. But I wish I could rise from the ashes as well as that. And yeah, some people probably want old school camera angles and all this other stuff, but hey, at least they're there in spirit. I mean, they're trying. And as far as Aladdin goes, I think it was... Who was it that voiced Aladdin? Was it Ralph Macchio? I honestly don't recall. I know Robin Williams was Genie, that one's obvious, but I forget who voiced Aladdin. I feel so bad that I forgot. But we're on to the Shifting Sands level. This level has the gimmick that there is sand that will move you unless you're ducking. So, if you happen to be on the sand, you don't want to... Well, you do want to duck if you don't want to move, so to speak. And we can try and get this right here. And we do. But yeah, this section can be pretty difficult, just because everything is now kind of just in motion. You have some chicken here, though. And these purple bow guys actually fire twice, but we're not too concerned with them. The real part is here, because they actually dick you over by doing 2 to the left and then 2 to the right to kind of mess with you so you'll fall into that pit. And since the sand moves you, if you move with it, it will send your ass off the pit, or off into the pit before you'll ever even realize it. And that was the death of me, younger me, so many times that I'm pretty sure I cursed at the TV and my parents got a little upset. Man, I thought I was going to get another heart and just continuously get that for all of this. But now we have another continue. Yeah, this game, it's actually relatively short. We're probably honestly over halfway there, if I remember correctly. It's not a long game. Like, even if you play it casually, like I am, it's pretty damn short. Like, in all honesty, if you know what you're doing. If you don't, then it'll probably still only take you, like, max of, like, 2 hours, 2.5, maybe. If you're 3 or 4, then it might take you, you know, a good bit longer. Oh yeah, and these spikes won't insta-kill you either, they'll just hit you for 1 HP. Something I have noticed about the green vases, though, is that whenever you hit them, it seems like they spit out in the opposite direction of where you are. And you could see that we caught enough gems that we actually got another heart container there, so whenever you get 100 gems, you actually get another container. But you want to be careful on that spike, or that snake section pit, because bottomless pits like the one right here, super dangerous, because, yeah, you'll insta-die. And again, you want to remember that the purple archers fire 2 arrows instead of 1, so you do need to be aware whenever they change colors like that, they fire 2 instead of 1, so if you tried to go right away, they would dick you over. And he hits me, but I get him back, so we're even. Oh yeah, and these guys. Their blades kind of have a boomerang effect, so just gotta be careful. But here we've got another boss, which isn't actually a boss, it's just a boo being an idiot. So, nothing to worry about. It's, I guess, a joke boss, honestly. I don't really know what's up with that one. Like, it's not really a movie section that I can think of that it relates to, but who knows? I want to believe that they probably had another boss planned or something, but couldn't get it programmed or put in time, so they're just like, we'll just put the monkey in a mask and call it a day. So now we are Alibaba. Anybody remembers from the movie? Yeah. Aladdin wishes to be a prince so that he can get with Jasmine. This is actually the one section where I was saying why not going for the red gems is specifically this one, because I have zero clue where all of these red gems are. And this whole section can take place from down in Agrabah all the way up into the clouds. So finding all the red gems is probably going to be a pain in the ass if I had to do it. But I'm just trying to get as many as I can, because then we get another heart container if we do. So red gems are worth 3, green gems are worth 1. So if we can get red gems, I'm going to try. But if we can't, then I'm not going to cry over it. Just because, like, this section alone is pretty much the reason I probably will never get all of the red gems. Just because I literally don't know where all of them are. It's definitely harder to get all of them because of this section. And the carpet has, like, a momentum kind of effect, so if you go up and down, it delays. So it's kind of like trying to make a sharp turn on, like, a snowboard. It just can't be done. you can try, but you have to, like, catch your momentum and go back. And there, I did get quite a few of the gems, but not all of them. So it was close. So yeah, that one odd section of the movie where Aladdin gets sent off to the corners of the earth, we're actually playing that section now. Which is a little strange, because as far as I remember in the movie, it was just kind of they got sent off to, like, the polar ice caps and then immediately back. So, not really sure what's up with that. Oh! I got my jump input eaten. It happens. But, yeah, as far as I remember, if I'm remembering right, it's been a while since I've seen the movie, so you're gonna have to bear with me. But if I remember right, they get sent to, like, the polar ice caps, and then Genie just immediately, like, launches them back to Agrabah or something? Because Jafar sends the, like, tower that they're in off, like, to the end of the earth or whatever. So that section didn't really have a whole lot of anything to it. But then here we are. And we've got these livable or living swords, not livable, that but we've got the living swords that are attacking us. So we have to watch out for them. Also got to watch out for the snakes in the walls and all of these obstacles. Again, the game does get a little harder. You can actually jump off the snakes' heads. I didn't really do it back there, but just know it's an option if you want to. But yeah, the game just slowly gets harder and harder, introduces more stuff, more difficult enemies. You also have these guys who basically don't do shit, and Iago dropping skulls at us, which can also just be bounced off of, so we don't really need to worry about them. You can actually hit Iago himself with like an apple or anything, and if you bounce off his head, it'll take him down, so to speak, but we can also use these lamps as like an obstacle or object to hit the archers here. And the fire will hit them, so it's always good. And I'm probably gonna miss the scarab. Nope, I got it. But yeah, we're getting closer and closer to the end. This game, like I said, isn't too long. Probably take you like an hour. Honestly, less, if you know what you're doing. I'm actually also watching all of the cutscenes because, well, I don't actually recall the last time I've seen all the cutscenes in this. Well, as cutscene as Super Nintendo era gets, but they're very... Oh, hey, I actually got a genie. That's pretty cool. But we can see what it does. And yeah, gave us a heart container and filled all of our hearts. But yeah, I'm watching all of the cutscenes in this just to give, like, the general overview of what all the game is like. Whenever I play games and do, like, recordings, I like to actually watch the cutscenes, just because I know there's people that enjoy them. If people don't, well, they can skip them. I mean, that's pretty simple. It does also make editing a little easier, I'm not going to lie, but at the same time, I also do quite a bit of editing, mainly because I actually live next to trains, so if you ever hear a train in one of the videos that I do, yeah, that's why. I live next to a train junction, so I actually have to edit a bit. Otherwise, you'll hear a train about every maybe hour. I don't live next to a big one, so... But there are still a frequent amount of them. So if you ever wonder why there's like a pause section, or if you happen to hear a train, that's why. So yes, I apologize if I ever miss one of them, but at the same time, I do watch all of the videos a lot to make sure that I catch them all. And I also pay as much attention as I can to my my audio editing whenever I'm doing it, to see if there's any louder parts and try and catch the trains there as well. But I am only human, so I can miss things. But we're actually getting on to the penultimate boss, which is Jafar. And as soon as he throws his staff down, he also likes to summon lightning from the staff, so we can just jump over it. Then we also have the birds, or... I'm honestly not sure what they're supposed to be. They're like planted pot birds? That's weird. But we want to avoid them. And like I said, whenever he throws his staff, we want to jump, because it will summon lightning all around. And after we hit him, he'll summon more lightning, and we want to jump again, because that will I'm losing all train of thought. But whenever he summons his staff, we want to jump because it'll summon lightning horizontally. And then we also want to get into the corners because he will summon lightning everywhere on the screen that's not right in front of us. Like right on the sides. But you also can't jump on the staff too early because whenever it glows up, it'll actually hurt you because it still has active hitting at that point. So yeah, we definitely don't want him to hit us. We're also going to get a ton of slowdown for this section. But we can also hit him there. But yeah, after you hit him each time, you definitely want to get out. Oof, that was close. But we got him. But yeah, after hitting him, if you sit on the sides near the wall, I've noticed that he never summons lightning out there, so you're usually pretty good. With the staff, you want to jump on it as soon as you can, but not too soon because it will hit you. And for the pot birds, you can actually hit them and jump on Jafar as well. But now we're going to have the snake boss. Fair bit of warning, this fight does have a ton of slowdown, so it'll just happen naturally. That's not on any particular thing. The Super Nintendo just slows down to absolute abysmal levels because of this fight. Like, all of the stuff happening in it just absolutely destroy the frame rate. Like, that's just how it works. Like, there's no particular any reason that it slows down. It just does. Like, it just will. And after you hit him the first time, his tail will start jumping up and down, and then he'll try and bite at you, so you can just keep hitting him. But it's pretty easy. The cloth also makes it super easy. You do want to watch out for the eggs that he spits out. I think they're supposed to be eggs. I really don't know. They're really weird. But whenever he spits them out, you want to watch out for them because the tail physics, whenever it's going up and down, makes them very unpredictable. And also the slowdown makes it a super weird fight to begin with. But you can also take advantage of the fact that he spits out multiples and possibly hit him twice like that. You can also take advantage of the fact that he throws his tail into the air to jump at the height of it and possibly hit his head. It doesn't always work, but hey, it's worth a shot. We have the life for it. And he's down. You actually don't have to jump here after he's down, the fire won't hurt you. So that's just a thing of note. But yeah, that's actually Aladdin. We beat it in less than 45 minutes. Even watching all of the scenes. So yeah, that is the final boss. Pretty easy, didn't have to use a continue, that was pretty good. And he does come back to bite at us, but we've beaten him. I mean, the game is over at this point, so it's just the final cutscene. But yeah, totally not biased. I love this game. Like, it's one of my old and gold, just really fun, old, nostalgic games. I still own my copy, obviously, from whenever I was very small. I was right around 3 whenever we got it. It may look like it's been through a garbage disposal, but it still works. Amazing part of cartridges back in the day. So it's seen a lot of time, a lot of wear, but it still plays. And it's fun to just break out every now and then to just play it again. The only real complaint I have is the slowdown of the final boss, but that's just a limitation of the time. Like, it's going to happen. It's just a thing. Like, the hardware just couldn't handle the final fight and all of the calculating of throwing the eggs at random, it literally just explodes the hardware. But like I said, it doesn't even hurt it that much. It just makes the fight easier, honestly, because it's easier to dodge because it slows down to a crawl. But I still love this game. I still break it out every now and then just to play it and re-experience it. Like, I just figured I would record this time just to show. But it is probably the only licensed movie game, off the top of my head anyways, that I sincerely just love entirely. Like, I'd watched Aladdin quite a bit whenever I was younger, and I remember it decently, like, not too decently, but enough where just, I don't know, this game is just a fun little bit of childhood to me. Like, it's just fun to go back to. It's got double in the fact that it was a movie and a game that I played a lot. And I'll probably play it until the day that I'm dead, honestly. As long as I can find the Super Nintendo and the game to play. And like I said, it's not a hard game. Once you know what you're doing, it shouldn't take you over like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Hell, even if you're just good at platformers, it shouldn't take you more than it just took me. I died a few times just because I suck. But we're just on to the ending sequence. It's actually weird because in this game, after you finish it and you get to the end, you literally have to restart the console because it just stays on the ending. So I guess it's just final thoughts at this point. I can't really speak too much on it. I find it really good, but I also have a lot of bias and nostalgia for it. It's just a really fun game. I never played the other systems versions of it. I think there was one on like Sega or something, but I can't really think of off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure there were different versions. As far as other Disney games go, comparatively, I can't really speak to them. I didn't really have the Lion King or anything like that, even though I know it's terribly difficult. So maybe it was a good thing. But this game, this was when Capcom was absolutely just fucking demolishing it. Like, it's fun. Like, it was really good. I just really liked the smoothness and the absolute responsiveness of all of the platforming. Like, it's just a really, really good game. As far as platformers go, even with nostalgia, it's probably not the best that I've ever played, but it is still one of my favorites. Just because. I'm going to say just because a lot, but I just enjoy it. It's, you know, sometimes you just gotta go back and have fun with what you remember. Like, it's just fun to bring up a good memory. And that's what this game is to me. Like, I remember playing in a crappy trailer in a crappy neighborhood. Like, it was just fun. Like, and, you know, you didn't really think of much else. It was just, you had a game in front of you and you were just having fun with it. And the music and all of the enemies and all the stuff, whenever you're 3, it's like, this shit is the bomb. And it's just a good time. Like, Capcom really nailed it with this one. As far as movie licensing things go, like, they pretty much got me to get other movie license games. At the same time, I have to curse them a little bit because they really set the bar high for me early in life, and then everyone else absolutely just shot it through the floor. But yeah, that's about it. This basically the end. But if you're here until the end, or you happen to be here till the end of watching all of this and my crazy ramblings, can let me know what you guys think, and have a good one.